Yeah, it's really frustrating, and really frustrating for Zach in particular. Real freak incident where he, walking out the change room, slipped over and landed on his wrist. So hard for him to take, especially off the back of trying to get as best prepared as possible for this series. Initially, try to put even just some towels down, and then since then they've put something a bit more substantial down for us. We know we've got to be careful. I mean, it's not something you first think about when you turn up to a ground. Is trying not to slip over. It was a real freak accident, and hopefully that'll be the last of it, and no one else can fall to the same fate. And of course, it means that we have to look at things from a selection point of view. I think from as a more general thing, I think everything's on the table in terms of selection. We'll weigh everything up when we get to the ground, look at the conditions, look at the surface again, and try and have real clarity going into the game. I think walking out for the first time in an England shirt probably be the proudest moment. I just think I look back on walking out to bat and seeing Kevin Peterson stood at the other end, someone who I watched as a teenager and as a kid growing up. And I just couldn't stop smiling. I was living my childhood dream, and ever since have been. And always trying, if I'm ever going through a bit of a lean spell or things aren't quite falling for me, then try and look back at that moment and remember what that feeling was like, and just almost try and embrace that really excitable young lad, and bring that into the current situation, because I still am living the dream. So. Yeah, that would probably be the one thing that stands out, something that I'll always refer back to and look fondly on. Yeah, well, I mean, that accessibility was, it meant that I could watch all the time, and as often as possible whenever the games were on. As I say, it was a huge part of my childhood growing up, turning on the TV, listening to, what was it, Mambo Number 5. That was always a favourite song, purely because it was associated with cricket, Test cricket. So, those are really fond memories. I look back now and I associate that with growing up playing Test matches in the garden with my family, with my brother, and it was all through watching the coverage.